This is doing numbers. Finally somebody wants to listen to me.
I just want to quickly thank everyone who showed support in the last video. I honestly wasn't expecting the video to blow up as big as it did, let alone perform well, so thank you all so much for choosing to watch some autistic nerd talk about trains. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it does feel nice to be able to talk about Thomas and Friends without being bullied to hell, so seriously, once again, thank you all so much. As the title suggests, I will be reading a lot of the top fan picks that were left in the comments of the last video. This can range from extra additions or extra things to add on my previous comments. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we go through your suggestions, and if I have missed any from the last video or if you want your opinions in another video, please feel free to leave a comment as I love hearing the feedback. But with that being said, let's get started. Okay, what the hell is this? Already makes no sense, and yet you drew it! Why is he number 69? Why is Mr. Potato Head his driver? Who did he kill? Because that's clearly blood on his front bumper. Oh my god. Next up on our list is Michael. Michael was someone who was active a bunch and had a lot of ideas that I think work really well for Wonders of Sodor. I do have to agree with releasing the rest of the main crew first. Engines like Henry, Edward and Toby deserve to have their spots as they are many people's favourite engines, so to leave them out of the roster or go for other trains first feels a lot like a disservice. They also said to add Henrietta as Thomas already has Annie and Clarabelle, so it makes sense for Toby to have his iconic tram coach. They also talked about my hopes for Spencer and even added to it by saying that he should come with his iconic red Special Express coaches, then said that since we have the main crew it would make sense to have the engines 1 through 12, with additions such as Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, and Toad the Brake Van. Finally, Michael said we need more rolling stock, and admittedly I feel a bit daft for not mentioning them in the previous video, as a decent amount of Thomas and Friends will require them, so to brush them off to the side like that was a really dumb move on my part, but overall I have to agree with Michael. They had amazing additions that would make the game feel more lively. It also gives us more stories to adapt with crashes and shunting challenges. Seth the Autobot gave us a wide list of DLCs, but in packs rather than singular editions like James. There's the Brendan pack, which has the Brendan branch line, along with characters such as Edward, Salty, Bill, Ben, and the Skarloey pack, which includes the Skarloey Railway map, Skarloey, Rheneas, Sir Handel, Peter Sam, Rusty, Duncan, Skarloey, railway coaches, vans and brake vans with red and blue colour options, and slate trucks. There's the Steam pack with Henry, Rebecca, Nia, Stanley, Rosie and Spencer. The branch line pack with Toby, Henrietta, Daisy, Ryan and Mavis. The Little Western pack with Duck, Oliver, Toad, Donald, Douglas and the Aylesborough map. Then finally, the RWS pack with Bear, Limited Express coaches, Dulcie, Isabel, Alice and Mirabelle. I know that was a lot, but I really love how organised this is and how well thought out this was. It's clear that a lot of thought went into which engines go to certain packs, along with all the coaches and rolling stock. All of these would be great additions to the game, but it's also a neat way for us to get more out of the DLCs for hopefully around the same price. I just want to quickly say that not including Duck and Oliver was a crime in my last video, but Rowdy luckily came in clutch by not only adding that their branch line does exist in the game, but also that they have a ton of screen time and iconic stories that would be perfect to adapt in the game. I also came across a YouTube video coming across a bunch of the hidden railways in Wonders of Sodor, so I will link that video in the description down below. Train Car Gamer said that Dovetail should start with a Little Western DLC with Duck, Donald, Douglas and Oliver, and that they should be added along with some slip coaches. This would mean that the blocked off area behind Tidmouth Sheds could expand to Aylesborough. The second DLC should be a Brendan branch with Edward, Bill and Ben, with Brendan finally having a lineup to the China Clay Company. The third would be solely focused on Henry, adapting his stories from the books, along with extra content like vans for the Flying Kipper. The last one that was suggested was a Farquhar expansion pack, with Toby, Henrietta, Daisy and Mavis. They also suggested that it should have the engine and coach sheds, as well as adding some houses near the line. I think this would be a really smart way to add to what we already have while giving us something new. I think adding to the map with houses should be good, as it would make Sodor feel more alive. I'm 50-50 with a lot of these, as I don't know what one I would want to be added first, with the sole exception of Lady, of course.
With the sole exception of Satoru Gojo, of course.
But other than that, these additions that you guys came up with are generally really good. I would want to see all of these additions minus aces being added to the game. I'm just torn on which one should come first. David said that they would want to see more trains driving around Sodor, and I have to agree. When recording the background footage or just playing casually, Sodor feels extremely empty. It sucks not being able to have the full Sodor experience, so I think that it would be nice to see the engines roaming around or doing jobs. One addition I would want to add is possible lines of dialogue or things being added in a way to start like the racing event. Being able to drive around and coming across an engine and being able to actually start a race because they're feeling a little, cocky today. I think that's something that would be really nice to see. Z-Baby said that they don't see Diesel 10 being added simply because of Pinchy.
Wow, Pinchy! I hate it when you do that.
As much as I would want to see Diesel 10 added, I can also see the concerns that they have, as console players don't have a wide number of options regarding controls. So I can understand the issue here. I would want to see what you all think, as there isn't really much coming to mind here when it comes to this. They also said P.S. Paxton, Ari and Bert and Sydney are the easiest to add, as they simply have to copy and paste Diesel's model to replace the face and colours. They followed up by saying PPS.
PPS, that's funny right there, PP.
They would love to see Lady, and it would be a nice way to celebrate the life of Britt Allcroft. Gonzo pointed out to me that Edward's books also beat Thomas's books to print, and the absence of Edward is what led to them not actually picking up the game yet. They even added that it hardly feels like a celebration of the series without the engine that first brought us to Sodor. This is honestly really fair. I can understand why people have neglected to pick up the game due to this, and I think with this and all the other comments, that's kind of what the game needs right now, is the main crew. It is extremely weird to have all these locations and all these references, but to not have the main crew to come with them. Big Ben said, no, I'm just kidding. They said that they want to have more challenges, much like the race mode idea that I mentioned in the last video. I honestly want to see this added, as it's going to give us a new way to play the game so that we aren't stuck between shunting, free roam, or stories. Thomas the Tank Engine Remake says that the customization idea I came up with was a good one. So they came up with a few options, like Thomas with his LBSC green paint from The Adventure Begins, and 2 different paint spatter options from Calling All Engines and The Great Race. For Gordon, there is the Royal Crest and white buffers from Paint's Pots and Queens, James with black livery from the Reverend Audrey series and The Adventure Begins, the pink livery from Tickled Pink, Busy Bee, which I believe is the red nose from Buzz Buzz, and then the green controller, Tar from James and MS. Emily with the option to remove her number, Flower from Emily's New Route, and Tarp from Halloween Bronze buffers. All of these are a great addition to the customization option, and I like them a lot, as there are ones that are quite iconic. So here are a few of my suggestions really quick. They are Glow-in-the-Dark Henry, which I mentioned in the last video, Golden Thomas, Gordon as the Shooting Star, Percy covered in snow from the Ghost Train episode, and Diesel with Flames, which is a toy you can buy. These are just some. However, I would like to have an option to remove the faces and have it be the metal cylinders. Four Eyes Justin says that they want the main 6 before anything else, which I'm now starting to see is a recurring pattern here. Almost everyone in the comments, and myself included, would want to see the main cast of characters before anything else, which is honestly understandable. Bendy Fan said that they think Dovetail is going to do big DLC packs that adds a bunch of content. They hope it will release alongside big updates or even upon the release of the new upcoming show. They, much like Seth the Autobot, said that there should be branches as well as a whole in DLCs, with their pick of characters being the exact same, with Edward, Boko, Bill, Ben, and Salty, with a few story missions based around episodes and the Reverend Audrey stories, and maybe bonus content which teases the next DLCs. Shay J said that for Diesel 10 and Lady, the best way that Dovetail could make it work is by adapting the Diesel 10 Means Trouble book as a way to tribute to the late Britt Allcroft. Violet says that they want Mavis, Lady, Stephanie, Bill and Ben, Molly, and Oliver. They also said it would be cool if we got some original stories with Lady, which I think would be amazing. Like what happened after the Magic Railroad, and why is she in the quarry and cooling all engines, which a viewer did point out to me, thank you Eddington Railroading. Honestly, not mentioning this was once again another dumb move. I think I even referenced that very movie in the Hold up, let me just check this. Oh my god. So, as of recording, Dovetail has just announced a massive patch coming to all consoles on Monday, April 27th. There are many changes to the game that I will show on screen, but there is something I said that I would like to draw attention to. Beyond this update coming next week, we will continue to support Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor with future patches and updates to the game, alongside further changes based on your feedback. Now, I do think it is nice that they are listening to the community, but I do have a few things I want to get off my chest about it. While I do understand them focusing on bugs first, and while I think it is really nice of them to help smoothen out the game, I think I speak for a decent amount of us when I say that we don't just want bug fixes. We need new content added to the game as well. I want timetable mode or free roam to have other engines rolling around, and to have the engines chat among one another. It'd be really nice to have Sodor feel alive rather than a barren wasteland. Take this clip of Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
What's that noise?
The trains, I told you they talk. We're just too far away to hear what they're saying.
Good morning!
Having the trains all doing their jobs on timetable mode would make the game feel just that bit better. I am really happy though that they are focusing on making the game better, but I think what we need is a good mix of patches and additions to the game. For what it's worth, I think that the month of no updates to focus on bugs is really smart. It isn't going to help keep the community staying as active as it needs to be online, so I think we need to have a way for us to meet in the middle so that we at least have some things to keep us playing and some things to keep us talking about it. I think the worst part out of all of this is that there still isn't an announced date for the release of the Nintendo Switch version. But with all of that out of the way, thank you all so much for watching. If I missed any, which I know for a fact I probably have, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to make a part 2, and I just love hearing the feedback that all of you guys have. And hopefully Dovetail will have listened to some suggestions and have them in the works, but I don't know if they're going to see this video, and I really hope they do. But with that being said, I will see all of you guys in the next video. Until then, I'm Jinx. Thank you so much for coming here. Bye-bye! The third would be solely focused on Henry, adapting his stories from the books, along with extra content like vans for the Flying Kipper. Shut up. This is gonna be the end credits for the video, just this fucking blooper. God damn it, Stanley. Yeah, it wasn't, was it? Fuck's sake. Shut up. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I did.